Welcome back to Dishonored, Burning Dog fans. Once again, we find ourselves looking at this now very familiar menu, because the time has finally come for the final leg of our journey to begin. We're going to set out on the last of the DLC chapters, the Brigmore Witches. But before we do that, I just wanted to share a little tidbit I noticed the other day after I was done with that last dip into Dunwall City Trials. I earned an achievement I didn't notice, and I beat the Knife of Dunwall. Redemptive Path. Complete the Knife of Dunwall in low chaos. I really like that name. I don't really have anything to add at this point that I haven't said already about this game, except that, as ever, I'm really interested in finding out where the story's going from here. So with that in mind, let's play the Brigmore Witches. A save game of the Knife of Dunwall has been found. You can use your progression in the Brigmore Witches. You will retrieve your equipment and powers. Which progression do you want to use? Oh, by all means. Let's go with my low chaos run. You've chosen to use the low chaos progression of the Knife of Dunwall in the Brigmore Witches. Continue? Absolutely. And once again, we are dealing with the same difficulty settings. Let's go with the default one, Veteran. I don't have any. It's weird. It's not like the main game where I usually dip in to make sure the frame rate and stuff works. It's just not there. The pull power. Troubled sleep. You've been ill at ease ever since you assassinated Empress Jessamine Caldman and aided in the abduction of her daughter Emily.
He knew. The black-eyed bastard knew that when my blade stilled the Empress's heart and delivered her daughter to the Lord Regent's men, everything would fall to pieces. He watched me do it anyway. And now the world's gone mad. Plague grinds the city down. Corruption rots. A mad killer roams the streets by night, seeking revenge. The overseers have stormed my hideout in the flooded district. And I'm in a strange duel with a mad witch named Delilah for the fate of the Empire. I'd say I was being punished, but I know that the world doesn't punish wicked people. We make our choices and take what comes. And the rest is void. I can't say I wasn't warned.
No, Corvo isn't a mad killer.
The men are recovering well from the attack, but they don't understand the danger they're in. My mother warned me never to make an enemy of a witch. Corvo, here to settle our debt. You understand, I won't make this easy for you.
I don't know what to do! Oh. Oh, floating books! This is a dream! Ow. Damn it! Ah. Ah! That was still really weird.
What is it?
Thomas has returned with the information you requested. He's waiting for you below.
Achievement unlocked. Parting shot. Deliver or attempt the killing blow on Corvo. Oh. Oh man, I wonder if that's chaotic. I didn't think it would matter if it was in a dream. I shouldn't look to see if there's one for, letting him murder me. Or maybe spoiler achievements in there. I'm so close to the end. Cobbled bits of bone. Oh wait, I need to see something. No, it's not keeping the old books. Huh, level 1 of Bedtime and Summon Assassin. That's new. Pull inanimate objects towards you from a distance. Consumable items are used or stored immediately. Pull can silently disable a security system if used in the whale oil tanks powering the device. Level 2. Pull living things and bodies toward you from a distance. When enemies are pulled close enough, they are suspended in air. Corpses and unconscious bodies are automatically carried. While suspended in air, enemies are vulnerable to lethal and non-lethal takedowns. That could be really useful. Cobbled bits of bone. Excerpt from a journal covering various occult artifacts. Wait. No. This isn't one I've read before. It just sounded familiar. They say my mother was a witch, but the truth, as is so often the case, depends on perspective and your place in the world. She relied on poisons made from exotic herbs, and the blowfish that live in the reef waters near Pandysia. Her power originated in hallucinogenics delivered through guile or by force to those who crossed her. There was an unusual intensity in her gaze, for certain, but it came from within, not from the outsider. It's what happens to anyone who pushed to the absolute edge of sanity and survival, who stays there for years, then returns to walk among the sheep in so-called civilized society. My mother was crafty, but if it was anything more than powders, hidden knives, and guile, I never saw it. Like they tell children, some of those truly touched with a black-eyed bastard can move through the space between rooftops like a sparrow. Others command armies of rats or poisonous flies as easy as they wiggle their fingers and toes. The overseers are right to fear us, to warn the common folk to stay near their homes at night and keep their families close. But there are other ways his influence manifests itself. Those who serve me share in some of what I can do. This is Daud. And I suspect it's the same for Delilah Copperspoon's coven. Then there are those who can craft runes and charms. The old woman across town, they call her Granny Rags. She carves and polishes the bones of whales, stringing them together and opening them to the void, until they moan like the fever-sick on a cold night. I've found a few of her talismans, and with each one I touched, a tiny piece of me departed and settled in with her. What does she gain? A longer life? Some other kind of power I don't understand? The making of such things is beyond me. I've known 4 people in my time who carried the mark of the outsider, but I've known dozens more who wanted it. Who stood at night in stagnant ponds, or begged with the dust blowing through graveyards. People who gutted farm animals or burned the flesh of men, thinking it would call forth the void. I met a dying man once who had collected runes and charms for years. He crushed them all into powder, made a paste, and ate them, thinking he could gain whatever magic was in the things. His death was long and painful. I also knew a woman from Karnaka who would trade for charms and other bits of whalebone. She cracked them apart and fused them back together, then sold them. I bought one of these corrupted charms that she swore would cause sharp metal to break on my skin. And it worked. But each time it did, one of my teeth turned black and fell out. After the third time, I gave it to one of my men. Now when he smiles, it's all bleeding gums, and I wonder what parts inside him are turning black. Sometimes I ask myself, without these gifts, would I be a man to fear? Would I be called the Knife of Dunwall, with my name whispered through the markets and alleyways, the high towers and drawing rooms? I'd like to think so, but it really doesn't matter. As long as I bear this mark, I'll use whatever craft I have to force my will on the world. The harder trick is undoing what I've done. Oh, Lord. Sorry about that, just a quick sneeze. Regency and emergency powers. In a time of political upheaval, there are... It doesn't say it's an excerpt from something, which I find interesting. In a time of political upheaval, there are provisions in place for a staged transfer of power, designed with 3 goals in mind. The first is the minimization of incentive for coup. There is no predetermined person or position within the government that is scheduled to take on the mantle of regency during a time of crisis. Instead, a regent is chosen by parliamentary accord. This serves to avoid promoting a path of derelict ascendancy, and then to discourage those who would scheme for such a turn of events. It is the assumption of our governing documents that such a legislative body will always have the wisdom to see through would-be usurpers. It's actually a pretty clever system on paper. It's too bad it was overcome so easily. Twice. The second is the assurance of stability for the commons during and after the transitional phase. During an interregnum, while a regent rules the land, there are categories of laws and decrees that cannot be altered without a majority vote from Parliament. Thus, daily life for the people will not change dramatically when, during the time of regency, or shift... What? Oh. Thus, daily life for the people will not change dramatically when during the time of regency, or shift drastically once a proper heir takes up the throne. Third, and perhaps most important, is that a worthy successor is found. In order to rule out hasty action and to maximize stability, there will be no term limit or duration applied to the period of regency. Historically, rash decisions have been greatly contested, resulting in extended political turmoil or outright conflict. When the proper heir is found and the position is filled by someone worthy of the role, all others will fall in and provide their support. A note from Billy. Daud, no need to waste breath with apologies or excuses. You taught me that. All I can say is that as soon as I left Dunwall, my head felt clear, maybe for the first time. You told me once that people like us burn hot, then burn up. We don't get a chance to start over. No long days in the sun. But I know you, Daud. Despite all the blood on your hands, you've been stashing coin. No one does that if not holding on to something. You've got some kind of plan, some hope for a new life. Maybe you knew, maybe you didn't, but that's what you gave me when you let me walk away. The one thing you said that wasn't possible. And I will never forget that. When the time comes, and it will, I hope you're watching close so you can get that chance too. I left a book for you. The world is big, bigger than I knew. There are lots of places where an old man like you could disappear. Billy. Ports of call. Excerpt from a guide to port cities across the Empire of the Isles. Potterstead, Bristol. A small town, but the locals are charming and the ale is unmatched. Be certain to visit during the month of Winds for their pennant festival. Dunwall, Bristol. Notes on the capital city could fill a dozen such volumes. All delights exist in Dunwall if you've got the coin, and all miseries if you're broke. Unless you're well connected through someone in Dunwall Tower, or one of the key families, the City Watch or River Patrol, make sure your permits are in order. Otherwise, you're likely to have your cargo seized with the port authorities for any reason they care to concoct. Call Kenny Morley. While the harbor master here is particular about the kinds of goods you're carrying, The rest of the town is more lax. Be sure to visit the Inn on the Rock for the best mutton stew in all the Isles. Yarrow, Tivia. The cold here will snatch the breath from your lungs, but it is met in equal strength by the civility of its well-mannered citizens. The cozy taverns are kept warm by their famously crafted iron stoves, though the northern food takes some adjustment. Bejeweled aristocrats laugh and drink side by side with weathered, leathery-skinned farmers, clapping one another on the back until the dim hours. It is hard to make a friend here, or to truly understand the deep worldview of the native-born, but once you do, you'll have a friend for life. Culero, Serkonos. Culero. The city is crowded in the warmer months, and for a good reason. You'll find yourself shoulder to shoulder with scantily clad locals and foreigners on holiday. Pale skin burned pink by the sun, which somehow seems larger and brighter in Serkonos. The food in Culero is a shining example of Serkonan cuisine, and there is always music, always dancing. Hand-rolled in the steps of tobacco shops, the cigars are, of course, fresher than the ones you've had shipped to other parts of the Empire. For a second there, I thought this was written by Billy. Karnaca, Serkonos. The jewel of the south at the edge of the world. The city is bustling with industry. After a wave of settlers from Morley, and an influx of wealthy trading companies from Dunwall. Everywhere you go in Karnaca, there are new ideas, hybrid forms of music, groundbreaking theories of natural philosophy, and even extravagant delicacies made by mixing ingredients from all the known cultures. The locals work tirelessly for their coin, welcoming the elite from across the Isles. Oh. That's what that was about. Corrupted charm. I wonder if that's a different color. Who fucked these up? Put that there for now. That's annoying. No, it's still green. Corrupted bone charms. Corrupted bone charms are powerful bone charms that come with a cost. Locate them like normal bone charms by listening to the song they emit, or with the Void Gaze power. Equip them in the Bone Charms tab of the journal. Oh! That's interesting, it's purple. Tank. Benefit. Damage taken is reduced. Penalty. Overall movement speed is reduced. Is it just... No, there's a Brune over there, too. Give me strength! Storytime continues. The Reclamation of Dunwall. Okay. Excerpt from a pamphlet published in response to the plague. Dunwall, the seat of power in the known civilized world, the Empire of the Isles. Oh, fuck it, I'll read that properly. Dunwall, the seat of power in the known civilized world, the Empire of the Isles. It is our great capital, and it has been brought low by vermin. The very thought galls. We are faced with the reality that our once great city is in a state of shambles, and the few remaining domiciles in any habitable condition are the estates of those wealthy enough to ward themselves against that reality. A city cannot continue to thrive, populated only by the upper classes and their cloistered sycophants. Even if the plague were gone tomorrow, in its present state, Dunwall doesn't have enough hardy people of working age to return the city to everyday function. We must find a way to attract more residents, which requires removing the cloud of fear brought about by the current regime. The Lord Regent and his lackeys are bad for business, my friends. So it falls on us. A plague and a tyrant must be overcome. And after that we must undertake a third miracle, turning the screws on the obscenely wealthy, forcing them to pay back into the place that has given them their privileged lives. It is the powerful and fortunate who must pay for the rebuilding of Dunwall, even if the poorest will bear the stones and timbers of reconstruction on their backs. All this must happen for the dormant machine of commerce to restart. Without that, we are all forfeit, and the greatest city of our age will be lost. Oh, it's that one. That's what I'm hearing. I'm not doing this instead of going down the stairs because, well, I've got a reputation to maintain. Hey guys. Bonded Galvani weave. Thought I already had that. Shame. Guess I will be having to rebuy some things. Oh, I don't have a sword. It's weird. I feel like I'm actually missing a hand. Yes, I believe I have read this. Man, I didn't accomplish anything in this episode, except reading a lot of admittedly kind of interesting stuff. Overseer's saber.
I found Lizzie Stride. Getting her to lend us her boat will be a bit complicated, however. She's in Coldridge. From what I hear, they've got enough on her to hold her for about 1,000 years.
Coldridge, we can use this. We'll get her out. And Stride will have to pay back the favor. We'll have our transport.
Yes, sir. Your tools have been cleaned and placed in the chest over there. I'll wait here until you're ready to leave.
This one has the color scheme of the members of the Brotherhood of Assassins from Assassin's Creed. I wonder if that's on purpose. You know, the white robe with the red sash belt? Ah! Mercy's Grace, that's more like it. Nice. Come, my friend, this story is not yet over. By all means, this sounds useful. Pull. At level 1, grab inanimate objects from afar with the left trigger. Objects such as money, ammunition, and keys can be pilfered from a distance. Other out-of-reach objects, such as bottles or whale oil tanks, can also be picked up. At level 2, pull living things and bodies for a slightly higher mana cost than inanimate objects. When enemies are close enough, they are lifted helplessly and can be executed or choked out. Corpses and unconscious bodies are automatically carried. Can't pick up that sword anymore. Wonder why I would want to do that. Wait. Ah, butts. Just throwing mana out the window here. Oh, I got my potions back. The Metaphysical Mysterium. Excerpt from a longer banned work on, wait, what? I can't remember if I've read this one or not, so I'm just going to read it anyway. The Metaphysical Mysterium. Excerpt from a longer banned work on supernatural ritual. It is said that we should not sully our hands in combating the forces of the void. My studies have been deemed heretical by my brothers, but the rewards have been invaluable. I have harnessed the same energies employed by the outsider and his accursed followers, while avoiding their corruption. I'll prescribe a twofold method in this text. Indirection. As the unwholesome powers of the outsider use living flesh as a conduit, we can avoid being tainted by using the flesh of others instead. Containment. By using channels and barriers, we can focus these void energies in a raw state, shielding them from the perverse perspectives of the outsider. Odd.
After Corvo's escape, it's going to be more difficult to break into Coldridge.
Of course.
They've installed arc pylons, and they're blaring Overseer music over the loudspeakers. Our talents will be suppressed until we get inside.
I have other talents.
Begging your pardon, Daud, but I don't think it's safe to leave these Overseers holed up in the refinery.
It's a new game now. They know where to find us. We just have to make them afraid to.
They're not afraid to die for their 7 strictures.
Them? No. But the men who give the orders are a different breed.
All the same, I'd better give them a hand, just in case the prisoners try anything.
As you wish.
They've got Arnold Timshin there. Same wing as Lizzie Stride.
The barrister. He'll bring some class to the neighborhood.
Last thing. There's an execution planned in the courtyard. Should draw a lot of eyes away from you.
They know how to make a man feel welcome.
Oh, so because Thomas to leave, then I guess I need to go find that other rune first. Well, I haven't even left this room, and I'm not sure I did the right thing by taking the offensive with that fight against Corvo in the dream. But I guess that brings us to the end of this first episode. I'm BurningDogFace, and I'll see you in the next episode of Let's Play the Brigmore Witches, the DLC chapter for Dishonored. Later.